Well, I think Fame and Muscle Shoals Music is here because we're fiercely independent. We've been doing business with Bank Independent since the 70s, and to know that they've got our back, it means a lot. We've always been there, and it's always just been a phone call away.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a live update.
Fred Gossett here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center on this Friday afternoon, live at 5 with your latest forecast update. We do have some strong thunderstorms now starting to sneak into the area. We actually have a severe thunderstorm warning on the board. We're going to track the storms on radar, and then we're going to go through the full forecast update, talk about timing for the high school football games tonight. It's not looking great for at least some of you for the storms coming in, and honestly, additional storms may develop down into northwest Alabama during game time as well. We'll go through all the details, but let's talk about these current storms first. And right off the bat, we have a severe thunderstorm warning still continuing. I was live with this about 20 minutes ago, but this runs until 5:30. It includes the northern parts of Hardin County, Tennessee, and then surrounding counties here just outside of the viewing area. Does not include downtown Savannah, Tennessee, but it includes the northern parts of Hardin County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning here until 5:30. It covers mainly that Tennessee Highway 69 zone from Morris Chapel over through Lebanon to Saltillo, and then down to Bucktown. It does include Swift. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and the potential for some hail up to quarter size, the main concerns. Here, we'll do a storm track for the next half hour for this storm, and not for the lightning and the rain, but where the high winds and the potential for hail would be. And we're talking about time of arrival here for Saltillo. It's going to be knocking on the door in the next few minutes, around 5:04. Swift at 5:12. Unity 5:12. Bath Springs, Tennessee at 5:21. And Clifton, Tennessee at 5:29. Not looking at a tornado situation here because the cloud bases are so high because of the big spread we have between the hot temperatures and then the dew points only in the mid-60s in most areas. And then also, we have really, really weak wind shear, so we're not looking at a tornado situation with these storms. We're looking at the potential for damaging straight-line winds of 50, 60, 65 miles an hour. A few storms may have up to quarter-size hail, really intense lightning, which is going to be a big problem for the high school football games, and then heavy rain as well. Additional strong thunderstorms extend up through portions of Henderson, Chester, Decatur, and Perry counties in Tennessee. These are heading eastward over the next hour or two. They will move into Lewis and Murray counties of Tennessee. Additional strong thunderstorms are developing down through McNairy County, through Hardeman County, Tennessee, down into North Mississippi. These will continue eastward, and I do think additional storms will develop ahead of these as the atmosphere kind of unzips like a zipper, and we get upward motion interacting on all this instability here. So I do think the storms will develop southward and eastward with time, and we will get strong thunderstorms into northeast Mississippi and northwest Alabama here over the next couple hours. But they're a couple hours away. It may be that, especially in northwest Alabama, you can start some of the high school football games, but you may not be able to go all the way through the end of fourth quarter. For some of these areas in southern middle Tennessee, especially Lewis County and Wayne County, and maybe parts of Lawrence County as well, I'm not too sure how much of the duration of these games you'll be able to get in, because the storms are already as close as they are at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and they will be picking up a little bit of speed and moving closer to 30 to 35 miles an hour as we head after 6 and 7 o'clock here. So that's the situation with the radar currently. Outside of these storms, we're quiet, but that quiet weather isn't going to last all evening. We'll switch over to the graphics here, and there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a large part of the area in the darker dull shade of yellow here. That's a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for all of our southern Tennessee counties down into northeast Mississippi and the shoals of Lauderdale and Colbert counties. That runs until midnight tonight for additional storms to develop. Main potential is going to be damaging straight line winds of 60 to 65 miles an hour with a few of the storms, not all of them, but a few of them, wind gusts at high that can knock down trees and power lines, cause power outages, cause damage. And then a few storms may have quarter-size hail. The tornado threat is extremely low. It's never completely zero anytime there's a severe thunderstorm on the board. But because wind shear is so weak to non-existent, not even there for the most part, and then the cloud base heights are so high with evaporation potential below the cloud base, all that strongly works against tornado development. So even though I can't completely rule out a small spin up, the chance of that's not completely zero. It's as close to zero as it can be without completely being zero. So we're not expecting tornadoes to be a situation, but the damaging straight line winds, all the vivid cloud to ground lightning, that's going to be enough of a danger, especially if you're doing the high school football games tonight or you have other outdoor activities through the evening. We'll start looking at the Arctic Air Skycam Network here live at 5 o'clock. We're about 5:05, 5:06 now. This is from Savannah, Tennessee. This is from the tower at the E911 Center looking back northward toward the storms, and you can see the dark clouds and the heavy rain here off to the north, but the core of the thunderstorm is missing downtown Savannah off to the north. It's staying to the north end of the county. 90 degrees here with a dew point of 69 and a south wind at 5 miles per hour currently. Away from the storms, we'll start looking at area conditions. This is one of our new cameras. This is at Mount Pleasant. This is atop the hill right there. We're overlooking the interchange between US 43 and Tennessee 166 here. 87 degrees as we look back northwest toward the storms in Hickman County. Temperature is 66 degrees, so you see that big spread between the temperature and the dew point. So underneath the cloud base layer, there's plenty of room for evaporation potential, which will cool the air when you get rain to fall into that. It helps with damaging winds when storms first move in. It works against tornadoes developing. And then after you get the first round of storms go through, it kind of stabilizes the atmosphere so that the second and the third round of storms don't have the same type of damaging wind potential either. So it's this first round of storms this evening where we think there will be some severe thunderstorm warnings. And then the deep overnight storms and the storms into Saturday, not likely to be severe because we'll have the atmosphere rain cooled and stable. Lawrenceburg, 87 degrees here at 5 o'clock as we look southwest across the town. This is from atop the water tank in front of Walmart on the north side of town. 87 degrees, dew point is 68. So dew point a little higher, but still significant spread here. South-southwest wind currently at 9 miles per hour. And we'll slide down to Florence, Alabama, the University of North Alabama. This is atop Rivers Hall. Looking back south down Pine Street, you see the Science and Technology Center here, 88 degrees with a dew point coming in at 69. And for right now, immediately a calm wind, but it has been gusting up around 10 miles per hour at times out of the southwest. So we'll be watching things quiet for now across a large part of the area, but storms are intensifying and they're knocking on the door of the western parts of viewing area. Upper 80s, lower 90s this afternoon. There have been a few mid-90s here and there, so we're hot and we're humid. We're unstable. We have an unstable atmosphere for thunderstorm development, and we do think that will continue as this cold front slides into the area through the evening and the overnight. You can see that severe thunderstorm watch extends from the shoals of North Alabama back into northeast Mississippi through western and middle Tennessee, up into parts of Kentucky here ahead of the cold front for scattered storms with damaging straight line winds and hail. But again, tornado threat is extremely small in our local area here. Here's what you need to know for the Friday night high school football games. Here's the forecast. Kickoff for a lot of these are at 7 o'clock. But if you're west of Highway 43 in Tennessee, even if you're to move them up to 6 o'clock, you're still messing with the storm timing and you're kind of playing Russian roulette with it, so you need to be careful. School officials need to be paying attention to the weather this evening. You need to have someone paying attention to the radar, watching for storms with lightning approaching. They don't have to have severe thunderstorm warnings because keep in mind, lightning is not a trigger for a severe thunderstorm warning, and every storm by definition has lightning because of what a thunderstorm is. Thunderstorms will become increasingly likely as we head through game time. This is not just southern middle Tennessee. This is northwest Alabama. And eventually, toward the second half of game time, over into north central Alabama, closer to I-65. Storms will become increasingly widespread and move eastward across the area. They'll start to pick up speed, move at 30, 35 miles an hour as we head towards sunset here. So school officials, you're going to have to pay attention to the weather. This is not one of these cases where you can shrug this off because there will be deadly cloud-to-ground lightning and the potential for damaging winds. And it's not just a little pop-up 1 or 2 locations. These storms will become increasingly widespread, affecting everyone as we head through the evening hours here. There is a level 2 out of 5 risk of severe storms for all of southern Middle Tennessee down into a large part of North Alabama, roughly along and north of the Tennessee River, but even south of that, there's a level 1 out of 5 risk. Here's how the threat types break down for the evening and the overnight. Again, the tornado threat of a small spin-up tornado, it's never completely zero anytime there's a severe storm, but it's an extremely low risk because the ingredients are so unfavorable for tornado development. It's low risk, very, very low. We're not expecting tornadoes. We just can't completely rule out things. Sometimes storms interact with each other and they do funky things that, the environment isn't fully favorable of. But if we do get a small spin up, it would be a small spin up where you just have to seek shelter in the hallway for a few minutes. You're just fine. It's not the big ones where you need to be underground and that kind of stuff. We're not doing any of that foolishness tonight. There's no reason to be scared of this. There's no reason to be worried of this. This is summertime type thunderstorms we're dealing with damaging wind gusts. Most of you that have strong winds from the storms, it'll be 40, 50 miles per hour. But in those individualized areas where we get severe thunderstorm warnings, the winds could be 60, 65 miles per hour. That's strong enough to knock down trees, power lines, and cause some damage. Isolated small hail is possible. 1 or 2 storms could even have quarter-size hail, but hail's not a huge threat. We will have multiple rounds of heavy rain starting this evening and then late overnight, early morning, and on into the first half of Saturday that will add up. We have been dry around here for a while, and we are into drought conditions now officially because of how dry we've been lately, but we may have some localized street flooding here and there, especially poor drainage areas, especially going into the first half of Saturday after this rain starts to add up a little bit. Now, I will tell you, it's not going to be quiet at 6 o'clock. Futurecast isn't far off, but it's about 2 hours too slow with developing the storms compared to reality. Keep in mind, all any computer model is, it's a computer simulation of what it thinks the radar will look like at a certain time. It's not a guarantee. It's not me going in there with a pencil and drawing in the thunderstorms. That's not what that is. So it's too slow. You have to add about 2 hours to it. So as we go through the early to mid-evening, all these storms you see developing 7, 8, 9 o'clock, they were developing 4 to 5, and they will be moving through our area 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, continuing on through midnight, the first round of thunderstorms. I think after we get past 10 or 11 o'clock, we're losing the daytime heating. We're starting to work over the atmosphere with heavy rain so that we're going to reduce, if not get rid of the severe threat, but we'll still have rain and loud thunder and maybe some 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts through the overnight. Another round of storms comes in toward daybreak on our Saturday, but notice the temperatures here are in the 60s. So we have all this rain-cooled, stable air in place. Thunder's going to be really loud with this, and the rain's going to be heavy, and there may be some 20, 30, maybe 40 mile per hour wind gusts, but I'm not expecting these Saturday morning storms to be severe. That heavy rain will be easing on out of here toward midday, lingering showers into the afternoon, maybe a little bit of sun in the afternoon to get you up into the mid-70s, and then clearing skies by the evening as the cold front brings the cooler and drier area in. We'll be into the low to mid-50s as we wake up on Sunday morning. Mostly sunny skies for Sunday. Partly cloudy here as we head into early next week, but staying dry. We don't have rain chances in the forecast as we head through next week. So we get through the storms tonight, and then the first half of Saturday, we're going to be dry around here for several days. Daytime highs here Saturday, we knocked them down to the mid-70s because all that rain-cooled air sitting around the first half of the day. Lower 80s through Monday, and then we ease back to the mid to upper 80s, maybe isolated lower 90s as we head toward the second half of next week. So weather where you live for tonight, it's going to be stormy off and on at times. Rain and thunderstorms increasingly likely through the evening. Some of those could be severe with damaging straight line winds, the main threat. In addition to lightning, heavy rain, and small hail, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in place until midnight now. So we'll be watching that. We will be live with any warnings that may be issued across the area. I'm not expecting tornado warnings, but you never say never for 1 or 2. Showers and thunderstorms into the first half of Saturday, tapering off into the afternoon. briefly getting into the mid 70s with just a little bit of sunshine in the clouds, and then partly cloudy to mostly sunny for Sunday into the first half of the week, increasing sunshine as we head deeper into next week. That's Look Your latest 7-day forecast. Again, we'll be live with warning updates through the evening. We're not going to stay live nonstop for severe thunderstorm warnings, but as warnings are issued, we will have frequent live updates. Should we get an accidental tornado warning, and that's what one would be, is an accidental tornado warning, should one be issued in the viewing area, for that we will be live nonstop, but otherwise we'll have periodic live updates with severe thunderstorm warnings as they're issued through the evening.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.